Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi. We're doing a Mabon celebration, autumnal and spring equinox. So I know that I have followers all over the world. So we're just going to be focusing on the equinox and balance, the fact that the sun is rose in Libra today, the beginning of Libra season. And we're going to be clearing away some lower densities, really allowing that destroying and destruction, how they're going to be clearing up the fields and getting ready to lay the land fallow for the winter season up here in the northern hemisphere, and also those of you in the southern hemisphere clearing out the old leaves and everything that turn into mulch and starting to plant new thoughts. So we're going to also be working with the energy of the moon today, and the moon is in the waxing phase, meaning she's getting bigger. So we can come back and re-emphasize some energy into the seeds that we planted on our new moon intentions last week. And we're going to do a group dragon invocation. So a lot of you guys are new to my channel. I'm Karen Terrace. I'm the dragon doula. I'm a super conscious leadership mentor and a practical magic consultant. So I help you to be able to use practical everyday quantum and metaphysical tools to increase your love, health, wealth, happiness in all areas of your life, to access unlimited creation potential by destroying all of the things that are holding you back and using that as fuel to move you forward into your dreams. And trust me, there is no dream that is too big for me. I'm just going to turn on my do not disturb on my phone for Instagram up there. So, Dragon Invocation is a offering that I have that I do these privately for my clients. I offer them as the introductory prerequisite to work with me one-on-one, and I offer them in these group settings to help recalibrate the frequency of many of us who are maybe sitting in some stuck energy or are wanting to come back into the highest frequency of what you're doing right now. And then when we do these personally one-on-one, it's much more focused, much more deep dive on getting you into your specific highest potential timeline for your greatest service here on Earth. So let's dive into the dragon, shall we? Dragons are, of course, the oldest form of magic. Everything in the multiverse is birthed from the heart womb of a dragon, meaning that they hold the integrity of their womb and their heart in the same organ. And they are able to hold on to star systems, planets, entire galaxies, and universes until the inhabitants are ready to be birthed into different ways of living throughout the existence of the cosmos. We here live in a free will universe, so we have the choice whether or not we stay in our old ways, stay in the old thought patterns, stay locked in our own menageny of or menagerie of our old story, or choose to write an entirely new one and become in flow with our own creative and destructive patterns. So you cannot create a new life of unlimited bliss and prosperity and happiness and sex and money without destroying the person that used to exist before you had that. What got you here isn't going to get you there, which means you have to create new. And I'm waking up every day creating a new life. I wake up every day in a new paradigm. So I really want you to open up to receive what I'm going to be teaching today, because this level of information is coded to be harmonically in resonance with the vibration of the timeline that you solve all of the problems that you're out to solve, where you hit all of your major milestones, where you are creating all of the change and all of the affluence and all of the wealth and all the prosperity and affecting all of the people that you want to affect in this world. That is what the Dragon Invocation will do. It's a harmonic toning, so I will be singing to you in what is often known as dragon tongue or light language or speaking in tongues. It's vocal toning, it's sounds and words and phrases and tones that are meant to clear away old patterns, any dead energy, any stuck energy, to heal any wounds, traumas, anything like that that's ready. So any cords that need to be cut, any old karmic connections that are ready to be released, and then also to activate your crystalline DNA to a new level of receiving so that you can bust through your body's safeguard system, which is also known as the upper limit problem, also known as ascension symptoms, all of these things where one area of your life is going really great while another area is crumbling down. So we're going to get to that at the end. So we're going to first talk about the two dragons that I pulled. So I used this deck by Diane Cooper. I am actually in the process of creating a tarot deck right now. I'm just looking for the perfect artist for it. So if any one of you is an artist that wants to collaborate on a tarot deck about dragons, specifically body parts of dragons and humans and how they correlate, reach out. Um, so for now, I use this one by Diane Cooper. She's amazing. She's been talking about this forever. She's this cute old English lady, and like I want to be her when I grow up. She's super sweet. So the first dragon is the fire dragon. I'm going to show it down here first for Facebook, and then I'll put it up there for you guys on Instagram. So the fire dragon here is helping you to burn away all of the lower densities. So again, we are on the equinox. We're on the day where all of the planet is equal today. The sun is rising perfectly in the east and perfectly in the west is setting on all sides of the planet, and the days and nights are perfectly balanced on both sides of the planet. And we also today at sunrise here in Utah came into the sun rose in Libra, which is the scales, which is balancing. So it's taking all of that fiery energy of Lionsgate and taking all of those things that need to be cleared away that you've been working on for the last 6 months or so and cleaning them up and clearing them away. So this fire dragon, it just really helps to burn away the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul's pathway. So it's saying that if you've been being called to something, now is the time to clear the last of the resistance towards it, to really just like use breath of fire if you need to. So you can just, breath of fire is in through your nose and out through your nose, kind of like you're panting, but your navel point is actually going in. So it's like pumping, but instead of having your mouth open, your mouth is closed. So if you find a really good track that has a good beat like this, and maybe a really good mantra that goes along with it, or maybe you have a dragon invocation that you want to listen to this dragon invocation afterwards, just the toning part, and you want to do a breath of fire, you do that for 3 minutes, and it actually reoxygenates your blood and your tissues and clears all of your chakra systems and gets you back into alignment that way. Then your next piece of the clearing is realizing that from fires new ash is made and that you can grow something new. So again, here in the northern hemisphere, people are going to be burning down their old fields to make sure that they're all burned down and everything that's in there is burned down, turning the soil and letting it lay over the winter, probably putting in some greens that can just put in new nitrogen, put in new nutrients into the soil. But they're using that fire because they know that the ash that's left over is going to actually be really nutritious. Had a reading, she saw a prehistoric dragon energy in me. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So dragons are the most ancient form of magic, Kimberly. So you're definitely in the right place. All magic can be traced back again to dragons, the double helix of our DNA, the Kundalini energy spiral. The reason why you're always seeing the egg and the snakes in the caduceus. All of these symbols are dragon symbols from when they used to walk among us as well during the times of Atlantis. So yeah, dragons. All the dragons, you're come to the right place. People think that I'm like a birth doula, which I am. I am certified as a birth doula and have been present at births of babies and birthed my own baby on my house on my own, and my midwife got there 15 minutes later. But when I talk about birthing, being a dragon doula, I help people to birth their dragon, to birth their highest potential timeline, to birth their big vision goals, and to get over all of the shame and guilt and why can't I be big and bright and a freaking mythical legendary creature that affects massive change, because I'm doing this not because I'm ego driven and need my name on all the statues, but my name will be on all the statues because I want to serve the world. Right? There is a totally different energy, and going through with a fine tooth comb and cleaning out all of the things that say that your process of how you became this successful is crazy or insane, and using super conscious resources, using psychic abilities, clairvoyance, channeling, connecting to the different frequencies of the multiverse, and using quantum physics and the logic behind that realm to help get your logical brain on board with your more magical woo woo type things. And it's how, politicians are going to be using this to be able to win elections in entirely new fun ways. Policies will be being changed. Huge climate change and all of the things that we're worried about will be able to be affected so quickly when we all stop being worried about moving from unconscious to conscious and start working from moving from conscious to super conscious. So that's what I'm here for, and that's what we're going to be doing. So the second dragon that came through, if this one's burning away all of the old, clearing the path for you, making sure that there's nice lush fields for you to plant in next year. The next one is this silver lunar dragon. So like the exact opposite, right? She is soft and pretty and just like very calm, and this growing energy, right? This energy that you can come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. So, your causal chakra being the moon chakra right above your head, which is your imagination, your place of play. I always tell people that dragons are like toddlers because they are super creative. They're always thinking of things in a very off the wall way. A really great way to be start accessing um, your your dragon energy is actually to be using different plant medicines, to be using different breathing techniques, using different ways to attack a problem than maybe seems like the logical way, and then being able to circumvent it with logic. Like there is toddler logic out there. There's logic. You talk to a toddler and you're like, I mean, I can't, you're not wrong. It doesn't really make sense, but you're not wrong. That's the playfulness of dragons. That's the playfulness of your imagination. But we were taught as a very young age that we were supposed to turn off our imaginations, that we were supposed to just, what, screw this. I'm not going to be, if I can't see it, then it's not real. Even though I can't see the Wi Fi that's helping me talk to Instagram, there's 3,000 people there that I can be in contact with. And then Facebook, everything I put on Facebook is public. So I'm like a billion people. The whole actual internet technically would have access to this. All of this gets put on YouTube. The things that I talk about are literally public record. And yet I'm going to go. I've just had lunch with someone today, my city councilwoman, who's not running again next year and is going to be helping me run for her seat. And yet I just talked about all the things that I just talked about with you. It seems insane, and yet we're ready for that level of new creativity. There's a reason why people are drawn to Elon Musk and they want to know what he's going to do next, because he's pushing the envelope and talking about things that most people are talking about behind closed doors, but definitely not in front of a press release. So she is allowing you to receive that imagination in that play. What is my big vision? What is my big goal? What do I really want? What is the type of planet I want to live in? And then can I start to play around with different possibilities, knowing that as soon as I think of a thought, it actually exists in the quantum realm. And then as soon as I start taking action towards one specific outcome, the more energy I put into it in a flowing state, in an affluent state. Affluence comes from the Latin term to flow, which is the reason why our retreat and our like transfiguration experience affluence is called what it is. It's an entire dissolving of your realities into an epic 5-day retreat of creation and bliss and play, leading you back out on the other side as a different, higher vibrational, more aligned, blueprinted version of what it is that you want to create. And that all starts in the causal chakra. It's taking all of that masculine energy, that drive, that focus, that, oh my God, I just need to do this thing energy, and balancing it with the surrender necessary to receive those intuitive hits and then take the actions, to do the weird things, to do things that are outside the box, to have big crazy goals like wanting to be the next president of the United States, or wanting to be able to openly talk about taboo subjects such as legalizing all drugs because it's actually a healthcare crisis and not a criminal justice crisis, releasing all of the non-violent drug offenders from prison. What else can I talk about that would be totally pushing all of the things? Making it so that our Congress has to stay accountable to the same laws that they put on us, having term limits, getting rid of Citizens United. I could keep going on and on and on because I can see where the policies are in place in America and around the world that are holding us as a prison. And yet, every person who comes to me is a light worker, is an energy worker, is working with unity consciousness, is working with a new, bigger, better, brighter version of the planet. And the analogy that always comes back to me is that we have the framing up for this amazing house and y'all ready to move the furniture in. We need people that are willing to stick around and do the work and build the walls and put in the plumbing and put in the electrical and figure out the interior design before everyone just starts hodgepodging it all together. There's a reason why movements like Occupy never did anything more than create a hashtag because they weren't unified together in their purpose. So I'm here to really help ignite what is the highest level that you can see that you can be of service instead of hiding on the internet, instead of hiding in your echo chamber, instead of hiding in your boardroom, instead of only affecting a tiny little piece of the pie. What is your imagination willing to play with? What kind of world do you want your great great grandchildren living in? And what are the actions you can start taking today to get to that future? You might not be alive to see it, but you know that you took the steps necessary to lay the foundation for your children to then pick up that legacy and move it and move it and move it. Most self-made millionaires, by the time their grandchildren pick up the family business, that generation will actually lose everything because they weren't instilled with the values of why they should give a shit, but they were given everything that came with the hard work and why the son and the father work their ass off and really care, but then the grandson just doesn't know and just blows all the money. You need to be instilling these values into your children and then into your grandchildren. You need to be teaching them the self care that you do and showing them how to do it. If you're channeling, teach your children how to channel. If you're pulling tarot cards because it helps you, teach them how to do that. Give them new tools and resources, the ones that have helped you get to where you are, because you'll be shocked at how much insight they have that might actually end up helping you create something new. I've exponentially changed the amount of money that I'm making in my business this year because I surrendered to listening to my callings of being a mom, of being an entrepreneur and working with people one on one who are ready to change the fucking planet, and by being politically active. And so I'm going to be running for city councilwoman next year. That's crazy. I talk about some crazy stuff. Go look at I talk about crazy things. And yet I know it in every fiber of my being that this is where I'm being called to because I let my imagination run wild. And then if you watch Sunday Morning Coffee with Karen this week, I was teaching you exactly how you can then feel which one of these timelines is in your highest alignment and you can start pursuing it. And everything that we're teaching you during the affluence experience is going to be also focused on not just what's wrong with me. I need this because there's something wrong with me. We are calling in the women into this retreat who know that there's actually nothing wrong with them except for they don't know how to get to the next level without burning out, without just crumbling because they are stretched so thin. They don't know if they can handle one more thing. And yet the one more thing that they really ought to be handling is this uh, opportunity to be held by three of the most up and coming spiritual empire women, myself, Megan Darger, and Olivia Mannix, who are infiltrating our own spheres, which are totally different spheres, in a way that is massively changing the planet. And we're making changes and making connections in the fact that we're up leveling literally every week. We're hitting a new block and then moving through it, and then closing a new deal and having a new thing and then moving through it so fast that none of us really recognize where we were in the beginning of August when we all met each other. And yet we can see so much more opportunities falling into our laps because we just dove in and said, you know what, let's play together, let's co-create together, let's get a whole bunch of badass women who want to play and co-create together and put on the most amazing experience that we wish that we would have had, that would have helped move us on our journeys faster, because we already move pretty freaking fast. Like, you're flying with dragons when you're hanging out with me. So affluenceretreat.com if you want to know more about affluence and everything that we're doing there. Let's look at these dragons for another second. So, burning away the old crap. Like any of your old stories, like anything that you've been telling yourself for the past 6 months, like just stop it. Just stop. You don't need to tell yourself that story anymore. You don't need to. Yes, Kimberly. Yes, let me put that in for you. www.affluenceretreat.com. We have payment plans. We have all the things, guys. We love you. It's going to be epic. Oh, Sedona itself, we're going to have plant ceremonies and shamanic manifestations in the vortexes, and we're going to the birthing cave. I'm the dragon doula, and we're doing a ceremony in the birthing caves in Sedona. Like, oh my gosh, a whole goddess experience, like an entire day of being just pampered as fuck and feeling like you're Aphrodite on the human planet. Like, it is, it's gonna, it's otherworldly. It's otherworldly. This is how we play in 12-dimensional creation energy. We literally have changed the game on what luxury retreats and and spiritual retreats are going to be like from now on, because we used our imagination. Oh, perfect. What can you really imagine? What can you really allow yourself to receive and play in? What can you really let yourself to receive and play in over the next 6 months? Over the next 6 months, we're going through a ton of more planetary shifts. On the winter solstice this year, we enter the age of Aquarius as Saturn and Jupiter both go into Aquarius, and they rule our discipline and our abundance. And how can you be setting yourself up for success? Are your money mindset or morning mindset habits really ones that are aligning you with your highest frequency of how you can serve as a high vibrational creation experts, to be a master of energy alchemy, to have mastered your psyche so much that you're a freaking psychic and you can play the stock markets easily and effortlessly without guilt, because the way you're doing it actually serves the planet instead of just your own pocketbook? Or how you can know exactly who to back in the elections. What if you had access to what you keep saying they only have access to, because you were able to telepathically connect to any of them you wanted to? There is a way to infiltrate the system, and it's from the superconscious plane of existence, not from the conscious one. And that's what we're offering you, and that's what the dragons offer you, and that's what I offer all my clients when we work with each other one-on-one, is the ability to really simultaneously burn the forest down and then just be like, you know what, I'm going to come back, we're going to plant some seeds, and we're going to tend this garden, and we're going to create something so fucking new and beautiful that it changes the world, because we are here to be global luminaries. We are here to be intergalactic missionaries. And we are here to change the rules of how the game on planet Earth is played, from a one that's currently fear and lack and suffering based to one that is based in love and abundance and affluence and prosperity and joy and bliss, and to be able to have happily ever after, and then find out what happens next when everyone on the planet has food in their belly and clean water to drink and bathe in and sanitation and having medicine, being able to read and write and do basic math. How much better could our world be? That's the world that I wake up every day creating. That's the reason why I'm getting from where I was to where I'm going so fast, because it's not about me. This is so much bigger than me, that I know that if something were to happen to me, this movement would continue, because I am just a pebble that continuously every day drops myself into the pond and ripples outwards and ripples outward, and I'm getting bigger and I'm getting brighter, because I'm not ashamed of who I am. Where I was is how I got to where I am. There's nothing that you can do that would make me feel ashamed, because I've already said it all out loud. I promise you. I promise you. And that took me burning down any of those stories that said it was bad, that it was bad to be who I was, that it was bad to talk about things like fibromyalgia or kleptomania or depression or suicide or anxiety or postpartum depression or any of the other taboo things that I speak about in all of my live streams. So let your imagination run wild, people. We're going to do an invocation now. So if you, honestly, if you're driving, that's fine. Just set the intention that you're totally fine and that you're going to be able to receive this and then come back another time if you want to and listen to it again or do the breath of fire like I suggested. So if you can, close your eyes, and if you can also stand up. I'm going to stay sitting just so that you're not just looking at my chest the whole time. Well, your eyes will be closed. So yeah, let's stand up. Oh, push this out of the way. I like to stand when I'm doing my work because it aligns my chakras more and my all of my articulations. So the Mayans believed that all of your joints were spiritual articulations, and so you want to keep your posture really straight and in strong alignment. So shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, spine is stacked, chin is tucked, standing in essentially Tadasana, which is mountain pose, or with your hand on your heart, whichever one feels better. And just taking a few deep breaths now in through your nose and out through your mouth, really opening your jaw really wide, even sticking your tongue out, getting that Kali breath going. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Stick that tongue out really far and wide, in through the nose. Two more times, in through the nose. Making sure that you're grounded through your legs, your knees are not locked, hips are stacked. And one more time. And now just returning to a regular breath, checking in. We're going to start with the fire dragon. Imagining that any cords or karmic ties, soul contracts, bindings, limiting beliefs, money blocks, relationship blocks, business blocks, anything of that sort, bringing them to the surface of your energy field now, just noticing them however they appear. Some of them look like sickly spots, other ones are very much cord-like. Some just have big holes in their energy field. So however this is looking for you in your energy, just bring them to the surface so that the fire dragon can come around and come through and just burn all of it up and incinerate all of those cords, all of those blocks. And it's also going to cauterize all of the gaps in your energy field and close them up, but there won't be any scars or residue or anything left over either. There's a lot of you here that have experienced what the dragons refer to as sloppy energetics, meaning that you've gone to energy healings that didn't stick. Either you didn't believe that you were worthy of that healing to take place. Healings happen here now instantly if you believe yourself to be worthy to be healed. It's the reason why there's the miracles down south where someone just bops them on the head and said you're healed. And some people say that's fake. I say that's the strong will of the mind of the person. If they wanted to be healed through that way hard enough, then they will be. But if you don't think that you're worthy of being healed, then it's not going to happen. The next thing is also the person doing the healing often doesn't understand the power that they actually hold. And so they hold back a little bit. And so the spell either doesn't complete or they don't end up closing off the right way, or maybe they don't know how to close their energy off from you. So the fire dragon is just going to go through and just clean all of that up as well. So by the end of his invocation, we'll have nice, clean, shiny energy fields, quantum entanglements that are not of our highest good will be incinerated, and that energy will be returned back into the quantum field into unlimited potentiality for anyone to have access to. Volebede vego senante doveni on ondo vele abe oto abiante ose kashane ove ota ambariando geleo embariambo geshe onevadele om babare faya ea faya orengon de drecolateka Hendo gole shantion peko viantio leam. The fire dragon's going to continue working as the silver lunar dragon is now coming in. And she's just appearing as this giant moon above your head, aligning your causal chakra back up with all of the rest of your chakras, bringing in this new dragon energy, this peace and harmony, this balance, this ebb and flow of giving and receiving, realizing that as you give, you also receive, connecting us back to the roots of the trees and the leaves of the trees, and how when we breathe in their oxygen, and when we breathe out, we give them carbon dioxide. How the trees' roots go as far as the branches. Remembering that as star seeds, the truth is that we are all here to represent the sacred tone of Tara. Tara meaning the tree of life that reaches up and touches every star, and the star that crosses over to become the tree of life. Always in destruction and chaos, as well as creation and order. The new earth will be created by those who are willing to step beyond the bounds of current consciousness into the superconscious. New ways of loving, playing, creating spiritual empires, only doing what feels good, working within nonlinear time, who have the capacity to expand their brains past the 5% that everybody else on earth is using, who are willing to take risks knowing that there's only lessons and successes. She is inviting us now, the Silver Lunar Dragon is inviting us now to reach our imaginations all the way into the depths of our childhood, remembering what maybe we wanted to be when we grew up, what we thought our life was going to be like in 2020, that it isn't now, connecting to things such as Star Trek or other utopian type ideals, one planet under source with liberty and justice for all. Wale Guru Nevea Om Pontineo Om Ave Divio Tigaya Uvi Trigu Ambion Tigaya Om Gayande Uri Luna Ono Soli Mani Ota Uria Malirio Uria Vikirio Nandiangivio Uria Bashika Iria Lishiva Kalimania de Goleo Aria de Magdalena Dova Shandiondo Jesus Cristo Jesu libati Draco Madigo Thanking the fire dragon and silver lunar dragon now. All 13 of your chakras have been recalibrated and reanimated to a 10 out of 10 for your highest potential timeline, being completely in alignment with who you truly are as a fractal of source manifested here in form to create a new earth of love, prosperity, abundance, equality, creation, a world that your grandchildren and great grandchildren will look at our history books and laugh at how ridiculous we were. Coming back into your bodies now, coming back into the room, shaking it out if you need to. If your feet are really hot, it could be because you're not used to working with the 12D energy on the grid. Lots of people are still working with 5D or a misconception. They have a weird conception of 5D. 5D is the ability to hold high frequencies in your physical body. So it's having 12D consciousness energy being able to be expressed as verbal communications or taking the action. So if it only just stays in the causal realm, if you only stay in your imagination and you don't have the means to channel it through to actually birth it and create something, that's when we should be working together, because that's what I help is create that vision and how to actually pull it into existence through your own personal modality, your own unique frequency. There's no two humans that are alike, therefore there's no two ways to work with a human that are alike, which is what makes playing with dragons and all of the resources that I have with all of my different modalities that I play in. Um, yeah. So I would love to hear some comments. How are you guys feeling? Drink water, lemon water, go out and play in the grass if you can. Epsom salt baths, all of that. Any comments? I'll hang out for a second. Ooh, that was good. So you might feel some things in your back and in your spine. The spine is also an articulation in the Mayan energy fields. It's actually the most important articulation. It's the one that I go into very specifically because of where your nervous system is, and also very deep down in your bones, where the DNA inside of your bone marrow and red blood cells is being created. So I feel strong. Yes, strong. So unstoppable, very much. So make sure you're listening to up music. Some of my favorite songs right now are "The Champion" by Carrie Underwood, Carrie Underwood, "The Man" by Taylor Swift. There's a song called "Vertigo" by three. Oh, I don't remember who it's by, but it's really good too. There's just, yeah, get it moving, and be in the flow. If there's some things that come up, just allow it to run through your body again. This is going to be on my lives on Instagram, on Facebook. It'll be up on the YouTube channel, and you can come back and listen to it whenever. And this will be something to be that can work at any time. It can be 6 weeks from now, and if you want to come back into balance, come back and fast forward to where we started the meditation, and it'll be here for you. Awesome. Okay, thanks guys. I love you all so much. I'm gonna go hang out with my kids for a little while. Yeah, catch the replay for sure, Trista. Have a wonderful night, guys. I love you all, and have an amazing equinox. Go set some good intentions. Go hang out in nature if you can. Soak up some sun codes. The intensity of the solar light codes is really good right now. It's actually helping. The smoke is actually helping in like with filtration to be able to do sun gazing, which is closing your eyes and using your third eye to receive the sun codes. Sitting in the Sphinx pose while you do that as well, on the grass is really good way to like really pull in some of that Libra energy as well. So, okay, I love you all. Have a beautiful day, and we will see you soon. And I'll see you guys at Affluence. Yes, yes, I will see you all at Affluence. Okay.